Hello folks, welcome to another part in this hybrid zombie shooter tutorial course. Today we're going to take a look at how to add that health bar on top of the zombie, not available all the time, only when you shoot a zombie. And also we're going to take a look at the XP system where when you kill a zombie, we're going to add XP to the player weapon and also to the player themselves. Additionally, we're also going to add in a quality of life update to our movement controls with our player when they are armed. I hope you liked today's video. If you do, hit that like button and also hit subscribe because I do have more videos of this type coming up soon. And also feel free to share this video to any of your friends who may be looking to create their own zombie shooter game in Unreal Engine. I believe this course will help them to their very best as I try to make this course as beginner friendly as possible. Now, let's go into the video and take a look at how to get these things done. First, we're going to create the zombie health bar itself. So in our core enemy system folder, we're going to create a new folder and name this as UI. Open this up and we're going to create a new user interface, a widget blueprint, and user widget, and name this W_zombie health bar. Open this up, and first we're going to add in a canvas panel. Just drag it and drop it in here. Next, we're going to add in a size box. And inside of the size box, we're going to add in a progress bar, just like this. Select the size box and set the anchor to center. And the position X and Y, we're going to set this to 0. And I'm going to select the size box, and I'm going to make this as long as I would like my progress bar to be, or the zombie health bar above the zombie's head. And then also I'm going to make it a little bit more skinnier. And select the progress bar, and under fill color and opacity, set this to a red of your choice. I'm just going to go for this dark red. Under progress, you will find %, and if you increase the %, you will see the color of the actual progress bar. Once you're satisfied here, let's rename this progress bar to zombie health bar and make sure it is a variable. Compile and save it. Inside, let's go to our graph. We're going to delete this event tick, and we're going to create a custom event. And this custom event is going to be set_health. We're going to drag in our zombie health bar, and we're going to drag off of the zombie health bar, and we're going to do a set %, and select the function, and then connect it here. And we're going to drag this in %, and then connect it to this custom event, and that will add in a node for in %. Compile and save it. In our zombie base, we're going to select our mesh, and we're going to add in a widget component. And then name this widget health bar. Select this widget component and set the space to screen. We're going to set this widget class, and we're going to set this to WZombie health bar. And that should create the health bar for the zombies. Now, if you press play, you will immediately see the problem. The zombie health bar is good, but it's like on the floor, and also it is way too big. But the screen functionality is working, that the player can actually see the zombie health bar regardless of any direction that the player is facing. So this is great. The first thing that we're going to do is we need to replace the location of the zombie health bar. So I'm going to go to the front perspective, and here I'm going to raise the widget just above the zombie's head. So it's like right in the middle of the zombie's head, just a little bit above. Next, I'm going to go over to the zombie health bar designer, and here I'm going to reduce the size of the size box until I find a proper size that is inside of the game. Let's make it even smaller. That looks pretty good. I'm going to make it even more smaller. That looks decent. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to set it to something like this. And one last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually raise this progress bar a little bit above, just like so, because I see that the progress bar was at the neck level for the zombie. Now it's sitting just above the zombie's head. And now I can move it more to the left, so it's kind of like centered. Now if I press play, there you go. So that looks much better. Again, you can play with this. This is one of the simplest ways. There's more complicated ways to getting this done. I'm just trying to show you the most simplest way possible, so it's easy for you to just plug in a health bar right on top of your zombie's head. Now, one thing I like to do is I hate that gray background. I have mentioned that so many times in my other videos. So I'm going to go under style, background. One of the viewer actually mentioned I can just go ahead and set the tint here, alpha to 0, and then I will no longer see the health bar. But I do want a little bit of a background here. I just don't want it to go completely off. So I'm going to set this color to like black. And then the alpha, I'm going to set this to like 0.3. So it has a little bit of tint to it. And I think in game, I think it will look really nice. Just to add to that, under the progress where you have border padding, I'm going to add like 0.2 border padding on the top, bottom, all directions. So it adds a little bit of padding to the actual health bar. So far, the health bar looks great. Now let's go ahead and fix this because this is not the best way to do the health bar. You don't want to see all the zombies' health bar at the same time. You only want to see the zombies' health bar or the enemy's health bar when you're shooting at it. This is the best way to get that done. So we're going to go ahead and only show this health bar when the player is shooting at that specific zombie. So back in our BP zombie base, we're going to select our health bar and we're going to go ahead and clear it. So now we have no health bar. Compile and save, and we no longer need to mess with the zombie health bar at this time. So we're going to go ahead and close it. We're going to go to our event graph and we're going to find our event begin play. On event begin play, we're going to go ahead and create widget. And this is going to be our health bar widget. And we're going to promote this to a variable. So we have a reference to that widget, and this would be our z underscore health bar underscore ref. And then we're just going to leave it as it is. So now we have a reference to that health bar that we just created for this zombie. So only when the zombie is damaged, we want to show the health bar. So we're going to create a new function, and this is going to be show underscore health bar. And inside of this show health bar function, we're just going to drag in our health bar component, and we're going to set widget and connect this execution pin right here. And the widget that we previously created on event begin play, we're going to do a get, and we're going to set this as our widget. And we don't want this health bar to be showing up on the zombie at all times. So immediately we want to go ahead and start a countdown and then hide this health bar if the zombie does not take damage within a specific amount of time. So we're going to create another function, and this would be hide underscore health bar. And here we're going to drag in our health bar component, and we're going to do a set widget. And we're going to leave this empty so the widget is no longer set. And back in our show health, we're going to drag off of this, and we're going to create a function timer. Set timer by function name. And the function name would be our hide health bar. Just going to copy that name and put it in here. And the time is basically how long do you want the health bar to show. So I'm going to set it to about 3 seconds. And within 3 seconds of taking the first damage, if the zombie doesn't take any more damage, then we're going to go ahead and hide the health bar. And we're not going to set this to looping. Now we need to call in this show health bar function. So on event damage, I'm going to do a sequence. So on the sequence node, I'm going to first on then 0, I'm going to show the health bar. So the game will show the health bar first. Then we're going to go ahead and set the health. So after we set the health, we're doing the perform health check. So we're going to go to our perform health check function, and we're just going to pull this back a little. And we're going to now drag in our health bar reference. And then off of this, we're going to call in our set health function that we previously set up inside of our widget blueprint. And here we're going to need to give it a %. So we have determined that our health is going to be 100, and our maximum health, we're going to set this to 100 as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag in our health. We're going to do a get health. We're going to drag in our max health, and we're going to take our health and we're going to divide it by our max health. And this is going to be our %. And in our event graph, this should, as soon as the damage is taken, the health bar will show up, and then the health will be set. And then the perform health check will then go ahead and update the health bar. Now in game, if I were to shoot the zombie, you will notice that the health bar will show up, and about 3 seconds later, the health bar will disappear. But if I were to continuously keep firing, the health bar will not disappear. But when the zombie dies, the health bar is still there until the zombie gets destroyed. So that is more of a cleanup function. So as soon as the cleanup zombie function is called, we can just go ahead and call for hide health bar function just in here. So as soon as the zombie dies in game, you'll notice that the health bar will disappear and the zombie's dead and it's gone. So that's pretty much it for the zombie health bar. But I do want to take care of two other things while we are here in this tutorial, because it's a very short tutorial. So I want to cover a little bit more material here. Number one is the XP for the kill. Right now, our player gets XP on their weapon and also on their player stats based on the zombie kill, but then these two components are independent of each other and they're all controlling the XP using the add XP function. Now, if I were to go ahead and edit my BPC player stat manager, you'll see under player level and XP, there is this add XP function, and I just need to call in this add XP function and that will add the XP. Same thing for our weapon stat manager. In our weapon stats for XP, we have add XP to weapon function, and this will add XP to the weapon. So let's go ahead and add XP to the weapon when the zombie dies as well. Now, technically, we could directly call these two stat manager component and the weapon stat manager component and then add the XP. But the better way to do it is communicate it through the third person character. So in our content drawer, we're going to go to our core folder, go to our interfaces, BPI zombies. And under announce death, we're going to add in an input. And this input is going to be the zombie type. And this is going to be of type enemy category. So enemy XP category. And we're going to go ahead and compile and save it. In our zombie base, we now have to provide in what is the type of the zombie. So I know this one is going to be a generic zombie. So we're just going to leave it as generic. And in your game, if you have different types of zombie, then you can go ahead and select which level you want and update the level accordingly. In your weapon stat manager, you actually have the get XP amount, and then this is where we have all of our XP amount set up. For now, we're just going to add in a generic. So in our third person character, we're going to go to our class settings, and under implemented interfaces, we're going to add in our zombies interface. Compile and save it first. And under your interfaces, you should see the zombie category. And then double click on this announce Z death for it to bring in our event for the death. Once we get this event in, let's do our weapon stat first. Drag your weapon stat manager, and then we're going to add XP to weapon. This is the function that we're going to call. And we're going to go ahead and connect the execution pin here. And then also the zombie type, we're going to connect it to the enemy category. So it will take care of how much XP that needs to be added to the weapon. And for the weapon name, we're going to get it from our loadouts. So drag in your BPC loadouts, and we're going to get our equipped weapon. And off of our equipped weapon, we're going to get weapon info. And off of our get weapon info, we're going to go ahead and break it. And this, we're going to drag our name and connect it here just like this. And while having the break as weapon info selected, let's hide unconnected pins so we can get rid of all of the unnecessary information. So now this will add stat to the weapons. And now for our player stat manager, we're going to go ahead and drag in our player stat manager. And then we're going to add XP. And the amount to add is going to be very similar to what we have done here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And then in our third person character, I'm going to go ahead and paste it. Now I have this, and then I can drag in this zombie type directly into the index. And this return value, I can connect it to add to amount. Here you can choose how much player XP you want to give for each kill that the player actually gets. So it could be as simple as, 5 XP for a general zombie, and maybe 10 here, and then 25. And then the higher they go, the better the XP is, right? And that's basically it. And one last thing that we need to do is inside of our zombie base, we are currently announcing this Z death to just the mesh instance. So we need to now announce this to our player character as well. So just before we set up our collisions and everything, we're going to now go ahead and duplicate this Z announce death, plug the execution pin. We need a target. So the target's going to be get player character. And then you can go ahead and plug it in here. Now, this would call in this interface function to the character, and the character will now take care of adding the XP to the weapon and the player. So if I go in game, you'll notice that my weapon level is 1 and my player level is 1 as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my assault rifle, start firing at the zombie. I'm doing 10 damage. And as soon as I kill the zombie, you'll notice that I gained a little bit of XP on my weapon and my player got some XP as well. And let's go ahead and kill the second zombie. And you'll notice that my weapon raised in level and the damage increased as well. And immediately in game, that damage should be reflective on this zombie. Now I'm doing 12 damage. 12 here for this zombie as well. And if I get one more kill, I should be able to get to level 3. And in this level, I know I have to do 14 damage according to my weapon card. And I'm doing 14 damage to this zombie. And my player is getting XP as I'm killing more and more zombies as well. Now my weapon level is at 4 and I'm doing 17 damage. And if I shoot the head, I'm doing 26 damage and the zombie dies much more faster here. And same thing, if I were to pull out my pistol here, same thing. And it will start leveling up my pistol instead of my weapon. But my player XP is equally managed. So that means regardless of which weapon you're shooting with, the player XP is going to go up. And if you were to shoot it with a pistol, then the pistol is going to get its XP. And the player is going to get their XP as well. And everything seems to be working fine here. One additional thing that I want to fix here in this video is that if I run with my weapon out, the player is running in a decent speed. And if I were to aim down sight, the player will stop running and then they're aiming down sight and stuff. But if I press the shift button now, the player is no longer breaking out of that aim down sight. They're still kind of like stuck in this mode until I press the aim down button again, and then they'll be able to run. So I want to fix it in a point that if I press my shift button while aimed down sight, I should break aiming and I should start running. This is more of a quality of life update than anything else. So find your aim down sight toggle and you'll notice that you have your enhanced input action. This is your right mouse button click and it's going to send in all of this function. So first we're going to create a custom event here, manual _ ADS kick. And then we can now plug this in here to your notify ADS. And where we have hold shift sprint, we're just going to pull this back a little bit. And when the player presses a shift button, we want to first check what is our current state. So we already have our anim state here. So we're going to do a get anim state and we're going to do a switch function here. And we're going to connect the started to this switch. And if the player is unarmed, we don't want to do anything. If the player is armed with rifle or anything like that, nothing needs to happen. Only when they're aimed with the pistol or aimed with the rifle, we're going to call in that manual ADS kick function here, just like this. Now, if I go in game and if I press play, now if you notice that when I have my weapon up and I'm running with shift, no problems at all. Now, if I aim down sight and if I press shift, you'll notice that I am breaking out of aim down sight right away. And now while I'm running, if I right mouse button, then you'll notice that I'm going immediately into a aim state. But if I press shift again, then the player will break out of that aim down sight and they're going to start running immediately. Same thing for the pistol. If I have the pistol aimed, they'll go slowly. And as soon as I press shift, they will start into a running state. All right, folks. So that's all I have for you in this video tutorial today. I hope you like this video tutorial and you can share your feedback in the comment section below if you want to add more quality of life update to the game. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to help the channel grow. I'll catch you all in our next video. Until then, have yourself a great day. Bye-bye now.